May I now begin to invite our speakers to address this session, and I begin by inviting Ms. Sanam Naraghi Anderlini, the co-founder and executive director of the International Civil Society Action Network. Ms. Naraghi Anderlini, may I ask you to address the meeting? There you are. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Excellencies. This morning's theme is youth, technology, and the use of the Internet for terrorism. I'm your first speaker, so true to UN form, I will embark on a slightly different topic, that of women and violent extremism. Why? Because despite their supposed differences, the violent extremist movements we see today, from Boko Haram and Daesh to the white supremacists, have one thing in common. They understand the potential power and influence of women, so they seek to control, coerce, co-opt, and subjugate it. When faced with vocal, strong women leaders and movements, they strive to erase and silence them in the public arena, because they know women will be the first to challenge their bigotry, which means that they must also fear women. So I'm honored to be here today with you on behalf of the International Civil Society Action Network, ICAN, and the Global Women's Alliance for Security Leadership, WASP, whose membership spans over 30 countries and includes the most courageous, smart, strategically practical women pioneering PVE and peace building in many of the most affected communities. And I want to illustrate this with a story. Last year, a group of women community peace workers in a remote area of Pakistan where violent extremism was rife, and who were trained in PVE by the Pakistani NGO and WASP member Payman Trust, alerted Payman's leadership to a group of local women who were sewing suicide jackets for their sons and selling them to the local militias. Payman encouraged the sewing circle to attend its workshops, and in a few months taught them livelihood skills, the Quran's precepts on peace and coexistence, their own historic traditions of pluralism, and how they, as women, could stop the bloodshed. The majority of them are now volunteer peace workers, and they're earning a better income. Is this unique? No, we have countless similar stories of other WASP partners doing this in their countries. And what do they tell us? First, women have agency, aspirations, and influence. They're not passive victims. Yet here's the tragedy. From ISIS to the white supremacists, not only do they understand the power of women, they see their utility. So they target women to serve them and to produce their children, but they co-opt them to become their messengers, recruiters, and fundraisers. But why would women join them? Because, as one Boko Haram woman said, there was 100% better treatment as a wife. There was better food. Those who were illiterate even welcomed the mandatory Quran classes as an opportunity to learn. So here's the irony. For years, the international community has issued soaring rhetoric about women's empowerment, rights, and dignity, but we have not delivered, and our failure has led thousands of women to join movements that espouse their own subjugation and violence against others, because they think that's a better chance at life. So my recommendation first for us here is, please, let's deliver on the rhetoric of rights and peace and development. We ignore women at our own peril. Second, prevention is done locally. In our Pakistan case, a local women-led NGO with depth of expertise in de-radicalization trained the volunteers who had access and trust to their communities. They designed programs that were culturally and religiously relevant and rooted. And we as ICAN had the privilege of providing the funds. You as governments need this expertise of the civil society organizations to participate and inform global and national counter-terror and PVE policies from start to finish. It's not about ticking boxes, it's actually heeding the wise advice of those who are active on the front lines. Third, violent extremist movements are effective because they're locally rooted and globally connected across sectors. We need to be better at coordinating our local and global work across all our sectors. ICAN's partnership with UNDP and some states that enables us to support our partners, and this event today is a good start, but there's so much more that we could be doing together. Because neither we as civil society, nor you as governments, nor the UN can do this work alone. And when states crack down on civil society, the radical and extremist elements flourish underground, spreading intolerance and justifying violence. When states embrace extremist ideologies of any type, they help unleash the forces of violence. So, if prevention is our goal, we need a vibrant, independent civil society sector anchored in human rights, able to dissent safely and engage constructively with you. Fourth and finally, for 16 years, our global discourse has centered around what we are against, the phenomenon of terror. But that phenomenon has metastasized. So my question for us at this review is, what are we for? 17 years and $2 trillion later, what do we offer? What is our vision and version of life that provides a sense of purpose, belonging, self-dignity, and hope for our youth? Ladies and gentlemen, we stand at a critical juncture. We can continue our siloed approaches and business as usual, or we can work together collectively to tackle the governance, economics, cultural, and security issues that give rise to these extremisms. As ICAN and WASL, we stand ready to partner with you. We'll bring our practical solutions rooted in the practice of peace, resilience, equality, and pluralism, PrEP as we call it, and we will not give up. But will we also continue to raise uncomfortable truths? Yes, absolutely. Because we cannot let the next decade or even the next year of our lives be defined either by the violence of non-state or state-led extremists. Thank you very much.